Welcome to this presentation, where we will give you an overview of the proposed routes for Phase 1 of Mass Transit. This video provides an accessible visual and audio description of the proposed routes for Phase 1 of Mass Transit. There is more information in our consultation brochure, which can be found on wymasstransit.com, where you can also provide feedback on our plans for our consultation survey and see details of the events we are hosting during the consultation period. You can also contact us to ask any questions or to request information in an alternative format via email at masstransit@westyorks-ca.gov.uk, calling our Metro helpline on 0113 245 7676, or by writing to us at Free Post Consultation Team WYCA. That's WYCA. The consultation is now open. It will close on Monday, 30th of September 2024 at 1 minute to midnight. We'll now talk you through the Phase 1 route proposals for Mass Transit. Phase 1 will have two lines, the Leeds Line and the Bradford Line. For the Leeds Line, we are considering 4 options north of the River Aire at Victoria Bridge and 3 options south of the River Aire. We're also considering 3 options for the Bradford Line. Each route option is shown on the map on screen. We describe the differences between options by referring to the following: passenger experience, how the route options benefit passenger experience; our vision, how the route options support our Mass Transit Vision 2040; the environment, how the route options could improve or impact the local environment; and engineering, the key design and engineering considerations for the Mass Transit route. I'll now briefly describe details of each option, which represent a different path each line could take. Your feedback will help us decide which route option to choose for each line. I will now introduce the Phase 1 route proposals for the Leeds Line. The Leeds Line will connect people between St James's University Hospital and the White Rose Shopping Centre via Leeds City Centre. It will be a single, continuous route. However, for the purpose of this consultation, the Leeds Line has been split into 2 parts at the crossing of the River Aire at Victoria Bridge. North of the river is referred to as the Leeds City Centre section. South of the river is referred to as the South Leeds section. There are 4 route options for the Leeds City Centre section, north of the River Aire. They are called L1, L2, L3 and L4. There are 3 route options for the South Leeds section, south of the River Aire. They are called L5, L6 and L7. After the public consultation, the results will be considered, with one of the Leeds City Centre route options north of the River Aire and one of the South Leeds route options for south of the River Aire being selected and combined to create our preferred overall routes for the Leeds Line. I will now take you through the options for the Leeds City Centre section of Mass Transit. The section of the Leeds Line north of the River Aire, which we are calling the Leeds City Centre section, runs between St James's University Hospital and the River Aire at Victoria Bridge. There are 4 route options for this section of the line, which you can see on the map on screen. L1 runs via East Parade and Infirmary Street. It is shown on the map in turquoise. L2 runs via East Parade in the northbound direction and Park Row in the southbound direction. It is shown on the map in light green. L3 runs via Cookridge Street and Park Row. It is shown on the map in black. L4 runs via Regent Street and the Head Row. It is shown on the map in purple. Each of the 4 options runs between St James's University Hospital and Victoria Bridge and would require the widening of the Grade 2 listed Victoria Bridge over the River Aire to connect into the South Leeds section of the Leeds Line. L1 runs via East Parade and Infirmary Street and is shown on the map in turquoise. L1 follows the same street in both directions. Heading southbound, after beginning at St James's University Hospital, it crosses the A58 running close to the First Direct Arena, before then passing the Merion Centre, Leeds Beckett University and Millennium Square. It also runs within walking distance of Leeds General Infirmary. It then runs along East Parade and Infirmary Street to City Square, where it is possible that the Bradford line will intersect with it, depending on which option for that line is chosen. It will then run past Leeds train station, before meeting the South Leeds section of the line at Victoria Bridge over the River Aire. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, it is the furthest route option from the city centre shopping area, and is further from Leeds bus station than other options. But it does run close to busy destinations, including both city centre universities, Leeds General Infirmary, the First Direct Arena, Millennium Square and City Square. This is the joint longest city centre route option proposed in terms of journey time. For our vision, it provides opportunities to support the development of the Innovation Arc, a major regeneration area for the city centre, and the regeneration of the Mabgate and Sheepscard neighbourhood areas. On the environment, it also passes through or close to Queen Square, the city centre and the Canal Wharf conservation areas. And for engineering, this route would require revised non-emergency vehicle access to Leeds General Infirmary, including the permanent closure of Portland Way to general traffic, as well as the likely relocation of bus stops on Infirmary Street. L2 would run via East Parade in the northbound direction and Park Row in the southbound direction, and is shown on the map in light green. L2 follows the same streets in both directions as L1 for the majority of its length. However, the line splits northbound and southbound services to run on different streets between the Merion Centre and City Square. Heading southbound, after beginning at St James's University Hospital, L2 crosses the A58 and runs past the First Direct Arena, as with L1. Just after the Merion Centre, the line splits. Southbound trams only run down Cookridge Street and Park Row, bringing southbound trams closer to the city's main shopping area before the tracks for northbound and southbound trams meet again around City Square. Heading northbound, L2 runs between the River Aire at Victoria Bridge and City Square. However, the line splits at City Square. From this point, northbound trams continue up Infirmary Street and East Parade. This means that only northbound trams would serve Leeds Beckett University and would be within walking distance of Leeds General Infirmary, before northbound trams then rejoin the track for southbound trams at the Merion Centre. Heading southbound from City Square, the line would run in both directions past the train station to Victoria Bridge at the River Aire to meet the South Leeds section of the line. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, the northbound track is the joint longest route through the city centre along with the L1 route, although the southbound track is shorter and quicker. This option runs close to the city centre universities, Leeds General Infirmary, the First Direct Arena, Millennium Square and City Square, but it is further from Leeds bus station or the development area at Marsh Lane. For our vision, the route provides opportunities to support the development of the Innovation Arc and the regeneration of the Mabgate and Sheepscare neighbourhood areas. On the environment, this option also passes through or close to the Queen Square, City Centre and Canal Wharf conservation areas. And for engineering, the route requires some revised non-emergency vehicle access to Leeds General Infirmary and Carverley Street, although the impact here will be less significant than in L1 due to the singular northbound track. The likely relocation of bus stops and changes to services on Park Row would be needed, although to a lesser extent than for the following L3 route option. L3 would run via Cookridge Street and Park Row, as shown on the map in black. L3 is the most direct route between St James's University Hospital and Victoria Bridge. It runs along the same route as options 1 and 2 between St James's University Hospital, the First Direct Arena and the Merrion Centre. But thereafter, both northbound and southbound tracks run together down Cookridge Street and Park Row. The route in both directions runs further away from Leeds General Infirmary than L1 and 2. This route option runs past City Square, past the train station, and onto Victoria Bridge over the River Aire to join the South Leeds section of the line. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, the route follows the same street in both directions rather than splitting at any point. It runs close to the city centre universities, the First Direct Arena, Millennium Square and City Square. For our vision, this route also provides opportunities to support the development of the Innovation Arc and the regeneration of the Mabgate and Sheepscote neighbourhood areas. On the environment, it also passes through or close to the Queen Square, City Centre and Canal Wharf conservation areas. And for engineering, the simpler crossing of Clay Pit Lane and at the junction with Woodhouse Lane would support more reliable tram journey times. However, it does take up more pedestrian space through Cookridge Street when compared to the L2 route option. This option is also likely to require the relocation of bus stops and changes to services on Park Row. L4 runs via Regent Street and the Head Row. It is shown on the map in purple. L4 diverges significantly from each of the other route options for the Leeds city centre section. It begins at St James's Hospital, but soon diverts south to run down the A61 Regent Street before turning to head west past Victoria Gate and the key shopping areas along the Head Row. It then splits into a separate northbound and southbound track just after Park Row, with the southbound track continuing down Park Row to rejoin the northbound track at City Square. The northbound track splits from the southbound track at City Square to head up Infirmary Street and part of East Parade before it turns east to rejoin the southbound track at Park Row. City Square would also connect to the B1 and B3 Bradford line options. Both northbound and southbound tracks run together between City Square, heading south past the train station to Victoria Bridge at the River Aire, where the line meets the South Leeds section of the line. Option L4 more directly serves the prime shopping spine of the Head Row, but does not run close to the First Direct Arena, Merrion Centre, Leeds Beckett University and Millennium Square, and it would be a further distance from Leeds General Infirmary. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, the route follows separate streets travelling north and south over a short section. For our vision, the route provides opportunities to support the regeneration of Mabgate, and there is the opportunity to serve the Hunslet Riverside neighbourhood area. On the environment, it passes through or close to the Queen Square, Canal Wharf, Mabgate and Grand Quarter conservation areas. And for engineering, it is likely that it would require the relocation of bus stops on the Head Row, as well as changes to bus services on Infirmary Street. It will also require changes to the A61 Regent Street and Eastgate roundabout to manage the impacts on traffic. We will now talk through the proposals for the South Leeds section of the Leeds Line. If we now consider the section of the Leeds Line that would continue south of the River Aire, which we are calling the South Leeds section, there are three route options: L5, L6 and L7. Each option would connect into the route running north of the River Aire at Victoria Bridge and run south as far as the White Rose shopping centre. We are considering three route options for this section of the Leeds Line. L5 runs via Dewsbury Road. It is shown on the map in light blue. L6 runs via Elland Road Stadium and Ring Road Beeston. It is shown on the map in red-brown. L7 runs via Gelderd Road, Lowfields Road, Elland Road Stadium and Old Lane. It is shown on the map in dark green. L5 runs via Dewsbury Road. It is shown on the map in light blue. L5 would run to the White Rose Shopping Centre following the most direct route along the A653. However, it would not serve the leisure and community facilities at Elland Road Stadium. This route would also see the tram share the road with general traffic along more of the route than for L6 and L7, adding the potential for tram journey times to be less reliable. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, this route is closest to the John Charles Centre for Sport. It is able to serve more residential areas than other options, and the route also has the shortest end-to-end journey time. It is close to the Crown Point Shopping Centre and Parkside Industrial Estate, but is further away from the key leisure and community facilities at Elland Road. There is also the opportunity to connect to Beeston, but only along the southern edge of the community. It is also less well connected to Holbeck and the South Bank Education Quarter compared to other options. For our vision, it provides the opportunity to support the South Bank's regeneration and can improve connections to Leeds train station and large retail and workplace hubs, such as Crown Point and the White Rose Shopping Centre. There is the opportunity for connecting to the community centre and Crossflats Park near Dewsbury Road. This route also brings tram connections to areas not currently served by existing rail services, such as Beeston and the South Bank area of Leeds. On the environment, the route passes through the edge of the Canal Wharf Conservation Area. And for engineering, it is likely to require changes at the Tommy West Junction, the A653 Dewsbury Road and Old Lane. It requires a complex crossing of Junction 3 of the M621, and it also shares more space with other road vehicle traffic than L6 or L7, which could impact on tram journey times and reliability. L6 runs via Elland Road Stadium and Ring Road Beeston. It is shown on the map in red-brown. L6 would run parallel to the M621 from Leeds City Centre to the Elland Road Stadium area, before turning southeast along the A6110 to the White Rose Shopping Centre. It passes close to Holbeck and Beeston. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, it offers a more direct route to Elland Road and the White Rose Shopping Centre. It does serve fewer homes than other route options, but it also potentially serves the park and ride on Elland Road. It provides opportunities to connect to Holbeck and the key community and leisure facilities at Elland Road and connections to the northern edge of Beeston. An events management plan would be needed at Elland Road Stadium during matchday events, which could affect services on match days. For our vision, there is the opportunity to support regeneration in an area of the city which has significant pockets of deprivation. There is also the opportunity to support the regeneration of Holbeck. This route connects to areas not currently served by existing rail services, such as Elland Road Stadium and the South Bank area of Leeds. It also improves connections to local communities, including Armley and Upper Wortley. On the environment, it has the potential to impact on important urban green space in Holbeck, although we will work to minimise this. It also passes through the edge of the Canal Wharf Conservation Area. And for engineering, this route brings the need to share space with traffic near Elland Road Stadium, which could impact on tram journey time reliability. Changes would be required to manage the impact on traffic at Junction 2A of the M621. There are also required changes to roads, including roundabouts, near the White Rose Shopping Centre. We also need to keep emergency service access to Leeds District Police HQ on Elland Road. L7 is the final route option we would like your feedback on for the Leeds Line. L7 runs via Gelderd Road, Lowfields Road, Elland Road Stadium and Old Lane. It is shown as dark green on the map. L7 would see the South Leeds section of the line run in a more westerly direction from Leeds City Centre through the north of Holbeck, from where it could share track with the B2 route option for the Bradford line, before heading south to connect to Elland Road Stadium and the centre of Beeston via Old Lane. It would then connect through to the White Rose Shopping Centre via Dewsbury Road. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, it offers a less direct route to Elland Road and the White Rose Shopping Centre. There are opportunities to make connections to the key community and leisure facilities at Elland Road. There are opportunities for good connections to the residential areas of Beeston, and an events management plan would be needed at Elland Road Stadium during matchday events, which could affect services on match days. This option does bring the opportunity for interchange with the Bradford line in the South Leeds area. For our vision, there is the opportunity to support regeneration in an area of the city which has significant pockets of deprivation, and to support regeneration in Holbeck. This option also connects to areas not currently served by existing rail services, such as Elland Road Stadium and the South Bank area of Leeds. And on the environment, this option would reduce car traffic and traffic noise for local residents near Holbeck. It passes through the edges of the Canal Wharf and Holbeck conservation areas, and it does offer potential environmental benefits from less traffic on New Road. And for engineering, the Bradford line connection that this option makes possible in South Leeds would reduce overall construction costs. However, complex engineering would be required to cross under the M621 near Elland Road Stadium. This option would also require changes to roads, including roundabouts near the White Rose Shopping Centre. There is also limited road space with this option between the Tommy West Junction, A653 Dewsbury Road and Old Lane, and the White Rose Shopping Centre. Alongside this public consultation to develop and identify the preferred route for the Leeds Line and Bradford Line, early work is also underway to work up proposals for a possible extension of the Leeds Line to connect into destinations within the Kirklees area as a future phase of mass transit. Proposals for an extension to Kirklees would be consulted on in the future as the plans are developed further. The grey dotted line to the south of White Rose shows a continuation of the line, which would be a potential route for the Dewsbury Line development project. Work for this is ongoing to investigate bringing mass transit to Kirklees. I will now talk through the Phase 1 route proposals for the Bradford Line. The Bradford Line will connect people between Bradford City Centre and Leeds City Centre. The Leeds Line and the Bradford Line will be connected, enabling journeys, for example, from Bradford City Centre to St James's University Hospital or White Rose Shopping Centre. There are a number of potential locations for a new train station on the approach into Bradford. Wherever the station is ultimately built, our ambition is for mass transit to provide a close connection. For this reason, the way the route options enter Bradford City Centre could be subject to further review. We are considering 3 route options for the Bradford Line. B1, which runs via Stanley and Armley. It is shown on the map in dark blue. B2, which runs via Leicesterdike and Wortley. It is shown on the map in grey. And B3, which runs via Leicesterdike and Armley. It is shown on the map in pink. After the public consultation, the results will be considered, with one route option then being selected as our preferred route for the Bradford Line. B1 will run from Forster Square rail station in Bradford City Centre. It is shown on the map in dark blue. It will then head east along the A647 Leeds Road between Bradford and Leeds. This route will see the tram run through the north of Leicesterdike, the centre of Thornbury and Stanley, while also serving Bramley and Armley, before connecting into Leeds City Centre around City Square. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, this option brings the opportunity to serve more local communities compared to the other routes. It is close to Leicesterdike, Thornbury, Stanley, Bramley train station and Armley. The planned segregation of the tram from road traffic at Stanley Road will support faster and more reliable journey times. This route also offers the most direct route from Bradford to Leeds of all 3 options, with the joint fastest estimated journey time. For our vision, there are opportunities for public space improvements in Bradford Forster Square, where the tram would terminate to enhance connections to the train station. This option also brings the opportunity to create a transport hub in the heart of Bradford to improve connectivity to other key places across the city. It also delivers the opportunity to connect to the planned Bradford Southern Gateway regeneration area, but only along its northern edge. On the environment, This option will reduce car traffic and noise on Bradford Road. New or widened crossings of the River Aire and Leeds-Liverpool Canal will be needed to protect the water environment and habitats. This option passes through the Farsley and Leeds Central conservation areas and the edge of Bramley Town and Armley conservation areas. And for engineering, it may require significant change to vehicle access to businesses and community facilities on Leeds Road. It also may require a reduction in the number of parking spaces on Leeds Road. There is a need to align the works with other projects along the route, such as the Dawson's Corner junction improvements. Substantial changes to roads in Stanley are required, which will maintain local access to Stanley Road while reducing through traffic. This option will require significant changes to many road junctions along the route, and new bridges will be required over the River Aire and the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. Finally, more of this route runs on, across or alongside roads compared to other route options. B2 will run from Forster Square in Bradford city centre, but will take a route further south between Bradford and Leeds than B1 for the majority of the route. It is shown on the map in grey. This route will run along the A650 Wakefield Road, passing through Bowling and Homewood, before heading to the south of Leicesterdike and Pudsey, before heading north to also serve Armley and Wortley. The route will arrive at Leeds city centre around City Square. The last leg of this route into Leeds city centre would be shared with L7 for the South Leeds section of the Leeds Line. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, this option runs close to Leicesterdike, Pudsey, Bramley train station, Armley and Wortley. It is the least direct route from Bradford to Leeds of all three options, with the slowest estimated journey time. It does offer the opportunity for interchange with the Leeds Line in South Leeds. For our vision, this option connects Armley and Bramley with Leeds and Bradford city centres, boosting local economies and access to services. It passes through the Bradford Southern Gateway and Leeds South Bank regeneration areas, connecting future housing, leisure, retail and employment locations. This option brings the opportunity to support development and regeneration by using the Bollingback Lane approach into Bradford city centre. This option uses the historic Pudsey Railway line, but this could mean fewer opportunities for placemaking and regeneration in communities and public areas as a result. On the environment, there is a need to manage and mitigate the impact of this route on trees, habitats and the green belt due to the reuse of the historic Pudsey Railway line. The route passes through the Pudsey Conservation Area and the edge of the Armley Conservation Area. There is a loss of green space close to Pudsey Grammar School and the St Joseph's Catholic Primary School. And for engineering, reusing sections of the historic Pudsey Railway line could reduce the impact on roads and traffic. However, more survey work is required to confirm the suitability and potential impacts on neighbouring land of using the Greenside Tunnel in Pudsey. The route requires major bridges over the Transpennine and East Coast Main Line rail routes, the A647 Ring Road and over the Stanley Bypass. In addition, constructing and operating the route alongside rail lines at Stanley Road could be challenging. The route option does reduce construction costs by connecting to the Leeds Line outside of Leeds city centre. Finally, more of this route runs on, across or alongside roads compared to other route options. B3 will again run from Forster Square Station in Bradford city centre and head south. It is shown on the map in pink. As with B2, it will run along the A650 Wakefield Road through Bowling and Homewood, to the south of Leicesterdike and onto Pudsey. Beyond Pudsey, it runs further north than B2 to run along the route of the A640 into Leeds, running to the south of Bramley and to the north of Armley, before arriving at Leeds city centre at the City Square area. To summarise the key points, in terms of passenger experience, this option runs close to Leicesterdike, Pudsey, Bramley and Bramley train station and Armley. While it is not the most direct route from Bradford to Leeds of the three options, it does offer a similar estimated journey time to the B1 option. For our vision, the reuse of the former historic railway line in Pudsey could mean fewer opportunities for placemaking and regeneration in communities and public areas. This option connects Armley and Bramley with Leeds and Bradford city centres, boosting local economies and access to services. On the environment, this route passes through the Pudsey, Armley and Leeds Central Area conservation areas. There is a loss of green space close to Pudsey Grammar School and St Joseph's Catholic Primary School. And for engineering, the planned segregation of the tram route from road traffic at Stanley Road will support faster and more reliable journey times. However, there are design and construction challenges where the route runs near the rail network, and new bridges are required over the River Aire and the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. The reuse of sections of the historic Pudsey railway line could mean less impact on roads and traffic. For this option, more survey work is required to confirm the suitability and potential impacts on neighbouring land of reusing the Greenside Tunnel in Pudsey. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to fill in the survey to provide your feedback. We will share the updated preferred route plans with you in a further public consultation before we submit our application for legal powers and planning permission to build and operate Phase 1.